This evening, we will be celebrating the remarkable accomplishments of this year's 20 Davidson Fellows, including building a 3-axis tracking microscope, developing a model to predict patient responses to various cancer drugs, using a tissue engineering to create scaffolding for pancreatic cell transplantation, innovative mathematics research in number theory and combinatorics, and literature collection focused on family lore, and a portfolio using music to explore goal setting. The Davidson Fellows represent the very best of today's young people. They are intelligent, kind, compassionate, and possess a strong desire to improve the world around them. They confront challenges with creativity and perseverance. For example, one of our fellows raised $30,000 for a parabolic flight to test her experiment. Another fellow, due to pandemic restrictions, built a fully functioning neuroscience lab in her bathroom for her genetics research. Now I'm pleased to present to you the Davidson Fellows, Class of 2021.
When Artis Shambhati's mother suffered a third-degree heart block and was connected to countless monitors, he was inspired to build a contactless vital sign monitor that does not impede a patient's movements. Initially, Artis focused on heart rate and temperature, but with the COVID-19 pandemic and the importance of reducing exposure to frontline workers, he added blood oxygen level, respiratory rate, and blood pressure monitoring functionality. Artis is a rising senior at Archbishop Mighty High School, and after college hopes to be a principal investigator and have his own lab at an academic institution. Artis loves gardening and growing plants, especially succulents, which he sells through his STEM organization, Grow Stems, which raises money and awareness of climate change.
I want to thank the Davidson Institute for granting me this honor. Thank you to my family, my counselor, Ms. Menor, and my science club advisor, Ms. Nguyen, for their support. Lastly, I wanted to thank Ms. Matroni, my bio teacher, and Johan Sosa, my mentor, for instilling in me a love for biology.
As a volunteer with his town's ambulance corps, Patrick DeBeck was inspired to find a non-traditional cancer treatment after responding to a relapsing cancer patient. Cancer's metabolic changes allow for its destructive growth. By showing that selectively halting a key component of cancer metabolism, Patrick's project has shown that cancer cells can be selectively targeted without harming normal cells, thus holding the promise of an effective therapy for cancer patients. Patrick is a freshman at Yale University and hopes to pursue a career working alongside patients and developing clinical technology. In his free time, Patrick enjoys playing beach volleyball, hiking and fishing, as well as working as a medical technician at a youth homeless shelter.
Hi, it's Patrick Dabeck. I just want to thank the whole Davidson committee for choosing me to be a fellow, as well as my family and high school teachers for always supporting me, especially my two mentors, Ms. Waldron and Dr. Reeves, as well as my high school AP bio teacher, Ms. Stoff, for always supporting me.
In artificial intelligence, neural networks are based on the structure of the human brain and solve problems from computer vision to natural language processing. Standard neural networks, however, are difficult to interpret and can be inaccurate outside of the trained range of data. Owen Dugan developed techniques that improve and expand the scope of a promising new interpretable neural network architecture. Owen's improvements may allow for a broader range of applications in physics simulations, medical diagnosis, and other high-precision or high-risk applications, paving the way for increased adoption of neural networks. Owen was homeschooled and is a freshman at MIT studying physics and computer science. He enjoys mountain biking, sailing, playing piano and guitar, and basketball.
I'd like to thank the Davidson Institute for this incredible honor and recognition. I'd also like to thank my mentors, Professor Martin Solzig and Ruben Bangovsky, as well as the Center for Excellence in Education, which ran the Research Science Institute camp, where I did this research. I'd also like to thank MIT for providing a number of resources necessary for my research, as well as the Department of Defense, which sponsored my research. Finally, I'd like to thank my parents and my family for their tireless support.
Sean Lee studied Penny's Game, a two-player game where players bet on certain words consisting of heads and tails, then flip a coin to see which word appears first. His work showed new connections between complex algebraic structures. By better understanding how patterns appear, better pattern finding algorithms can be developed, which can help find special keywords and large amounts of data, like finding certain cytogenic locators in genomic sequences. Sean participates in math competitions, research, outreach, and education, and is a freshman at MIT studying math. Through his volunteer work, he has raised $30,000 and was awarded the President's Volunteer Service Gold Award 3 times. Sean is the problem czar for the Harvard-MIT math tournament and enjoys singing and dancing, going on walks, solving puzzles, reading, and playing games with friends.
I'm indebted to my mentors, Dr. Tanya Kovanova and Professor Ken Ribbit, for helping me mature as a mathematician. I also must thank my parents for supporting me every step of the way. And finally, the Davidson Academy and Bob Davidson for the tremendous honor of being named a Davidson Fellow.
Since childhood, Ashwin Sivakumar has been fascinated by wildlife, especially birds. Birding gave him an appreciation for the interconnectedness of the natural world and the importance of preserving habitat. In his study, Ashwin used fossil data to construct models for the distribution of the California condor and the California turkey during the Ice Age, and project those models into present-day climatic conditions. Leveraging fossil data, Ashwin found that proposed condor reintroduction areas of the Pacific Northwest are likely to be suitable, and that wild turkeys might be fulfilling an analogous ecological role as the extinct California turkey. Ashwin is a rising senior at Flint Ridge Preparatory School, serves as co-chair of the Pasadena Audubon Society Advocacy Committee, and founded the Native Biota Project for habitat protection. Ashwin is a recreational saber fencer and plays trumpet for his school jazz band.
I'd like to thank my mentor, Dr. Alexis Mikhailu, for her guidance, my school and teachers, especially Ms. Kaufman, for their encouragement, my parents for their support, and the Davidson Institute for providing me with this outstanding opportunity and great honor.
Microscopy is fundamental to scientific research, but tracking the fast movements of organisms under high magnification over long periods of time is difficult to observe. To solve this issue, Priya Soneji developed the tracking microscope, which allows scientists to autonomously observe organisms at a microscopic level. Her microscope also collects trajectory and behavioral data. With its low cost, the tracking microscope can be used to bring advanced science to classrooms and underfunded labs. An incoming freshman at the Georgia Institute of Technology, Priya plans to major in mechanical engineering. She has several years of experience being the captain of her robotics team, which reached internationals twice. Priya enjoys watching movies, hiking, and playing sports, as well as volunteering at a local nonprofit to teach robotics to students in need.
I'd like to firstly thank my family for all of the support, and most importantly the Bala Lab for all of the help and advice that they've given me over the course of this project.
People are living longer than ever, but this longevity could have negative consequences, such as neurodegeneration. In her project, Parisa Vaziri researched if the FOXO gene could prevent neurodegeneration. Using fruit flies as models, Parisa concluded that FOXO protects the brain against age-related neurodegeneration. This introduces gene therapy as a possible solution to notoriously unsolvable diseases. Parisa was inspired to pursue her project after thinking about how one side of her family is very long-lived and the other affected by cancer and Alzheimer's. Parisa plans to earn a PhD in neuroscience and work in academia. Parisa uses her TikTok platform to get kids interested in STEM. One of her recent videos highlighting the transformation of her bathroom into a makeshift neuroscience lab went viral. Parisa enjoys playing the cello and piano as well as long-distance running.
For my achievements, I'd like to thank my parents for always being very supportive of my scientific endeavors, my sister for helping me get the resources for my first science fair project, my lab mentors Kristen Scott and Stephanie Engert, and my school science fair sponsor Julie Baker.
When cooled to sufficiently low temperatures, a liquid can either freeze into a solid or become supercooled and transition into a glass. Quantifying the behavior of supercooled liquids and gases in terms of thermodynamics is a difficult problem. Cayenne Yang applied statistical mechanical techniques to model supercooled liquids, providing an unexpected route to an important thermodynamic property of a supercooled liquid. His work has potential applications from drug delivery to nuclear waste management. Cayenne became interested in supercooled liquids when he went glassblowing, a process that transforms a red-hot liquid into a beautiful sculpture. Cayenne founded Ace Tennis to offer free tennis clinics and uses his own money to purchase equipment. In his free time, Cayenne enjoys hiking, biking, soccer, playing violin concertos, and sharing Spotify playlists with friends.
I would like to thank the Davidson Institute and Mr. Bob Davidson for this incredible honor, my mentor Dr. Uday Mohanty for his tremendous support, and Dr. Mahfouza Ali for her encouragement and inspiration.
Vedanta Iyer developed a novel chromium-doped cathode material that significantly increases the energy capacity and efficiency of lithium-ion batteries using computational quantum mechanical calculations. His curiosity with batteries stemmed from the Samsung Note 7 battery explosions in 2016. Starting as a small-scale middle school project, it evolved into a fascinating research idea with real-world implications. Vedanta hopes to implement his battery technology in everything from smartphones and laptops to active implantable medical devices and portable communication systems to large-scale energy grids that store renewable energy for remote areas that don't have direct access to electricity. Vedanta is a freshman at Yale University studying physics and computer science. He enjoys solving Rubik's Cube. His fastest solve was 7.4 seconds. He is also developing self-inspired Carnatic hip-hop fusion music.
First off, I'd like to thank my parents for their continued support for my science research. Next, I'd like to thank my mentor, Professor William Goddard, for his continued guidance and mentorship throughout the way. Finally, I'd like to thank the Davidson Institute and Mr. Davidson for giving me such an amazing scholarship opportunity, as well as supporting me in my future educational endeavors.
Stanley Liu developed a handheld diagnostic device for quantitative fluorescent detection of HIV-1 antibodies from blood, costing less than $2 to fabricate. He was inspired to pursue his project after reading about the Ebola epidemic in 2016. For many developing countries, infectious diseases are prevalent and lead to thousands of deaths every year. Through his project, Stanley hopes to develop a future generation of highly sensitive and inexpensive diagnostic devices to prevent future outbreaks. Stanley is studying bioengineering and computational neuroscience at the University of Pennsylvania. He loves backpacking, long-distance running. He once ran 48 miles in 48 hours for fun, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, reading, going on adventures with his dog Jerry, and anything related to psychedelics and neurobiology.
I'd like to thank the Davidson Institute for awarding me with this scholarship, as well as my dad and mom for their endless love, my two older brothers Ben and Vic for being my inspirations, my research mentors, Professor Rashid and Professor Lee, and my best friend, Angela.
Type 1 diabetes is a lifelong autoimmune disorder that affects 700 million people worldwide, including Angelin Matthews' family. It can cause blindness, kidney failure, stroke, and amputation. Islet cell transplantation provides a long-term solution. However, 3 donor pancreases are needed for 1 transplant, and a large portion of transplanted cells die within the first 2 days. Angelin designed a pancreas-like home for transplanted islet cells by repurposing and modifying SCOBY, a kombucha tea waste product, and also integrating a system that can deliver small amounts of oxygen to the cells to help them better survive. Angelin believes valuable sources of inspiration can come from natural processes and are valid solutions for tissue engineering challenges. In her spare time, Angelin enjoys choreography, model UN, journaling, singing karaoke, and spending time with friends and family. She is a freshman at Yale University.
I would like to thank my parents for teaching me resilience, as well as my research mentors for their endless support and belief in my research, along with my siblings, my best friends from research, and the Davidson Institute for awarding me this scholarship.
In her piano portfolio, Why Journeys and Not Destinations? A framework for approaching life's goals, Maxine Park developed a framework that explores commitment, connection, and communication as a foundation for personal and generational advancement. As a classical pianist, Maxine became fascinated by the psychology of goal setting and communication in the context of learning, polishing, and performing challenging repertoire, and delved into the research behind goal setting. Maxine is a rising senior at Phillips Exeter Academy and is head of the Student Mental Health Committee. She is also an opinion editor for her school newspaper and led a campus-wide mental health initiative. Outside of school, Maxine loves writing, reading horror and science fiction, and discovering new music, especially Korean pop. She launched a video project, To the Max, featuring experts in business, behavioral science, and academia. Maxine looks forward to continuing studies in both psychology and music in college.
I'm so honored to be a Davidson Fellow and would really like to thank the Davidson Institute for this incredible opportunity to pursue my love for music and psychology. Thank you also so much to my mentors, Mila Filotova, Alexander Korsantia, Silvana Sokolov, Christian Shakevsky, and also to all the musical communities and the Exeter Music Department for challenging, guiding, and inspiring me since the beginning of my musical journey. And finally, of course, thank you to my family for their love and support and for instilling in me my first love for music.
Timothy Chen, who has always enjoyed computer science, researched quantum metrology, a subject in physics that studies how quantum mechanics can be used to improve the measurement accuracy of physical quantities, such as electric or magnetic fields. Timothy designed an optimal protocol that provides a better method for measuring the error associated with the laser beams that are used to manipulate the states of quantum computers. With accurate information on the error, researchers can actively work to correct these errors to achieve more practical quantum computing. An incoming freshman at MIT, Timothy plans to major in electrical engineering and computer science. Throughout high school, Timothy participated in competitive programming competitions and co-founded the Montgomery Blair Informatics Tournament, which provides opportunities for new and experienced programmers to test their skills and meet people with similar interests.
I would like to thank my family and my friends, as this research project would not have been completed without them. I would also like to give a big thanks to my mentors, Alexei, Jake, Igor, and Pashemik, for all the support they've given me throughout this entire research process.
Upon learning that Alfred Hitchcock's classic movie, The Birds, was inspired by a real-life incident in which erratically behaving birds had ingested marine biotoxins that had moved up in the food chain, Lila Schreienfurth wanted to know if these biotoxins could be found along the Oregon coast, and specifically in the food we eat. To determine when and where these biotoxins produced by harmful algae blooms might occur, Lila developed highly accurate models to predict dangerous levels of biotoxins up to 5 weeks in advance. Lila attends Yale University and hopes to obtain a PhD and pursue a career in research. An avid violinist, Lila performed with the Portland Youth Philharmonic for 9 years. She served as concertmaster of the Oregon All-State Orchestra and represented Oregon in the All-National Symphony Orchestra. She also enjoys singing a cappella and choir.
I'd like to thank my family, teachers, and friends for supporting me throughout this process, the Oregon Department of Agriculture Food Safety Division for making their archival data available to me, and the NASA MODIS satellite program for allowing public access to their data. I'd also like to thank Bob Davidson for his generous support.
Eleanor Segrest dreams to be the first person on Mars. Stargazing with her siblings at a young age, her intergalactic wanderlust was reinforced when she experienced the final space shuttle launch at 8 years old. Desiring to help advance space travel, Eleanor's project focuses on slosh, unwanted movement of fluid in a tank which causes engines to misfire and the spacecraft to move unpredictably. Her research describes a new method to manage fluid and slosh in microgravity, using surface energies to hold fluid in desired locations in tanks. Eleanor attends Stanford University and is dual majoring in aerospace engineering and computer science. She loves flying, playing the violin, and fiber arts. As a STEM advocate for middle school girls, Eleanor leads rocket workshops and has given keynote addresses at international STEM conferences. She also mentors elementary and middle school robotics teams.
Hi! Thank you so much for this generous opportunity and amazing gift of support. I especially want to thank Dr. Bob Davidson for his work in founding the fellowship and enabling students to achieve their dreams. I would also like to thank my family, and especially my mom, who is my rock. She cared for me during all my crazy late nights and early mornings. I'm very grateful to my mentors, Mr. Benson and Dr. Pintalos, and all the behind-the-scenes people who have supported me.
Elora Young's literature portfolio, Walking Gentry Home, chronicles the lineage of her family in West Tennessee, from the 1700s to the present day. Each section tells the story of a descendant's life with poems and old photographs sewn throughout. Elora strives to examine how girlhood often serves as a transition from the home you are born into to the home you make. Elora is a Youth Poet Laureate of the Southern United States, a Presidential Scholar of the Arts, a 2-time TEDx speaker, and a Scholastic Gold Medalist. She founded Above Ground, an organization seeking to create equity in Nashville elementary schools through creative writing and Black history. Elora is a freshman at Swarthmore College, majoring in English. She is interested in learning foreign languages, acting, pottery, and Chinese giant salamanders.
I'd like to thank my amazing family, Hillsborough High School, the Tennessee Young Writers Workshop, the Iowa Young Writers Studio, and the town of Halls, Tennessee.
By combining big data analysis of numerous health insurance databases, Meenakshi Ambati discovered that people taking fluoxetine, a widely prescribed and FDA-approved antidepressant, had a substantially reduced risk of developing dry macular degeneration, a form of blindness that has no effective therapies and afflicts 200 million people worldwide. She also found that fluoxetine protected against this disease in laboratory models, suggesting that it could become the first effective drug. Repurposing this approved drug could save years in development and billions of dollars compared to creating a brand new drug. Meenakshi is a rising senior at Albemarle High School. She launched STASH, Speak to a Science Hero, to connect students with scientists to promote scientific engagement. In her spare time, Meenakshi plays the piano, constructs coil vases at the ceramic studio, and paints forest landscapes.
I'm grateful to the Davidson Institute and the Davidson Fellows Scholarship jury for recognizing my project. And I also thank my mentor, Dr. Galfand, my family, and teachers for supporting me in my scientific endeavors.
Much like atoms make up the universe, primes are the building blocks of the mathematical universe. There are infinitely many primes, and their distribution has led to some of the greatest problems in number theory. Apoorva studied prime distribution in short intervals, looking at their fine-tuned behavior in these extremely zoomed-in, delicate settings. To make deep math more accessible, Apoorva started a column, Gems in STEM, in 2020, as a place to welcome all people to STEM. Outside of math, Apoorva founded her own art gallery as a platform to share artwork and raise money for underserved communities. She has raised over $35,000 so far. Apoorva plays the violin and practices Kung Fu. She is a rising junior at the Nautilus Academy and hopes to pursue a PhD.
I would like to thank Mr. Bob Davidson and the Davidson Institute for this incredible honor, my parents for their endless encouragement and support, and of course, my mentor, Dr. Jesse Thorner, whose invaluable guidance and advice will stick with me for my future research in the years to come.
Inspired to pursue cancer research because of family history with the disease, Bala focused on the high cost and long time frame of drug development. Bala developed a cancer drug response model that predicts the effect of a cancer drug on cell lines, xenografts, and patient samples. By learning from known effectiveness data between cancer cell lines and cancer drugs, the model can aid with drug repurposing and development efforts. The model also correctly predicted several hundred clinical outcomes. Bala's model can help doctors assess the best course of treatment based on patients' individual gene expression profile, contributing to the dream of personalized medicine. Bala is a freshman at Stanford University, majoring in biology with a bioinformatics focus. In his free time, Bala enjoys playing pickup basketball, reading history books, and going on walks with friends.
I want to thank my research mentors, Nancy Phillips, Jason Maynard, and Al Burlingame, along with my English teacher, Nicholas Jackson, for helping guide me along the path of scientific discovery. And I also want to thank my parents for their unconditional support and for Mr. Davidson for providing a platform to promote youth achievement. Thank you all.
Because of their frequent collisions with Earth and the difficulty of detecting them, small asteroids are a significant concern, especially since they can cause city-wide damage. Franklin Wang created a machine learning model that can find streaks left by these fast-moving small asteroids and telescope images to create an artificial data set used to teach a machine learning model how to recognize them, and in the future, enable deflection. Franklin is a rising senior at Palo Alto High School. He hopes to combine his interest in research and teaching to become a professor. Outside of research, Franklin loves playing the oboe in the English Hornet California Youth Symphony Senior Orchestra and is a co-captain of his school's Science Olympiad team. He has also co-founded Project Code Foundation to teach programming and is a Boy Scout.
Thank you so much to my mentors, Dr. Gua and Mr. Willis, along with my high school teachers, Ms. Walsh and Ms. Chen, the Zwicky Transit Facility, and my parents for supporting my educational and research journey. And of course, thank you to Davidson for making this all possible.
As you have heard tonight, The Davidson Fellows' contributions to science, math, technology, literature, and music are full of potential to affect positive change. We are excited about their achievements and grateful to those who have supported their endeavors. Thank you to the parents and mentors who gave their time and effort to support these talented students. Davidson Fellows' contributions to the STEM and humanities fields dovetails into the broader arc of achievement and progress, and we are confident in the possibilities of these students and a brighter future for all of us. Thank you and good night.